This drought, in one word, is catastrophic. It's not the usual savanna woodland. You would see elegancy in the elephant population here, but today we are seeing a very dire situation in terms of drought here. If we can lose an elephant, and an elephant is both a browser and a grazer, if the elephants can die, how about the cows, which are primarily grazers? So the pastoral communities are really in dire of another catastrophic situation whereby we are not only losing livestock, but we can also be losing people. My name is Samson Lenjir. I work as Elephant Program Coordinator at WWF Kenya. Yeah, we are right in Mugeno Community Conservancy in Taita Taveta County of Kenya, witnessing elephants mourning a dead juvenile right behind us there, about 100 meters. We have a juvenile that has just died of a drought or difficulties in terms of getting pastures and water. And the mother or the cow is just another 500 meters away from where the carcass of the juvenile is, having died also there. And that tells us if lactating mothers and juveniles like this one lying here 4 to 5 years have died, it really has to make a wake-up call to us that this is very scary. And we are not just losing elephants here, we are also losing livelihoods in terms of communities. The scramble for water between livestock, people, domestic dogs, and wildlife. So the fittest survive in this situation. So how about if we could have more watering points for these animals? Then we will have addressed an issue of at least competition of resources. My father told me a story when he was born in 1936. Our entire generation was almost wiped out, and this was because of malaria. There was no conventional medicine that time, so an entire generation was lost. That meant that the population of the Maasai at that time went down, and it took a long time for the Maasai population to grow. So there's a big gap between my father and the next generation because many people were lost. I would relate to that situation to this situation, that if we don't intervene to ensure that wildlife are conserved properly, resources are given, or watering points are provided to ensure that at least the lactating mothers and the juveniles do not die because of lack of water. If we don't do that, then the population of the elephants will be like the story of my father, that we have lost an entire generation. And if we lose an entire generation and the gestation period takes another 2-3 years, then we are talking about a span of 8 years. So what does that tell us ecologically? An elephant itself, whether it is a juvenile or an adult, actually feeds between 12 and 18 hours a day. It takes a lot of water. An adult African elephant takes about 250 liters. That translates to about 1.25 grams of water per day. Water is life for both livestock and people and wildlife. One major conflict of human-wildlife conflict, apart from the pasture and the resources, is water. A farmer can have a water pond consisting about a capacity of 3,000 liters. And as I told you earlier, that an adult African elephant takes about 250 liters a day. So if 10 of them could come and consume that water, that is a one take for one day. What will happen to that farmer and the livestock? Our communities are the frontline custodians for wildlife, warriors actually, to conserve wildlife. So it is very important to ensure that we connect the communities in terms of conservation And in terms of livelihood, to ensure that we minimize the issue of human-wildlife conflict, because we know that 65 to 70% of our wildlife live outside protected areas. The good news out of this devastating drought is that there is an elephant baby boom within the Savo and Amboseli ecosystem. Can they survive this drought? And if they don't, then we have to have immediate intervention. And the immediate mitigation effort is to ensure that there's water availability for all of them, the young, the juvenile, and the lactating mothers. There must be a deliberate effort to ensure that our rangelands are managed well, to ensure that there is places to have wildlife management, livestock management, and even people settlement in terms of community conservancy, so that at least we can have a win-win situation between livelihoods within communities and for wildlife management. This drought is a climate crisis. In such an emergency, we spring to action. We don't point fingers, we don't blame. We come together to ensure that we save humanity and our precious wildlife.